A mining vessel, Crystal Dawn, floated helplessly in the void between star systems. Its hull bore deep scars from laser fire, and most of its systems had failed 3 weeks ago. Inside, Captain Mark Ross checked the life support readings again. 2 months of air left, maybe less if they kept moving around too much. The attack had come without warning. The Krell Empire's warships had appeared from hyperspace, demanding immediate surrender. The Crystal Dawn wasn't a military vessel, just a simple mining ship carrying rare minerals from the outer colonies. They had no weapons worth mentioning, only basic mining lasers that couldn't even scratch military-grade armor. Mark looked at his remaining crew. 23 souls, all that survived from the original 50. They huddled in the main cargo bay, the only section with functioning heat and air. Engineer Tom Wade worked tirelessly on the distress beacon, trying to boost its signal. Their communications officer, Lisa Park, sat at her dead console, still hoping for a miracle. "Captain, I've got the beacon working at 30% power," Tom reported, wiping grease from his forehead. "It's not much, but it's broadcasting our position." "Any response?" Mark asked, though he knew the answer. "Nothing, sir. We're in dead space. The nearest human colony is 8 light-years away." The Krell had been smart. They'd disabled the ship's engines and hyperdrive, then left them to die slowly in empty space. It was their way, cruel and efficient. They knew no one would find. The Crystal Dawn out here, halfway between nowhere and nothing. Young pilot Jake Turner spoke up from his corner. "Why did they even attack us? We're just miners." "The minerals," Mark replied. "What we were carrying could power a fleet for a decade. The Krell took everything and left us to rot. Days turned into weeks. Food supplies dwindled. The crew grew weaker. Some fell sick from the cold that seeped through the damaged hull." Mark maintained order, but hope faded with each passing hour. They were truly lost among the stars, forgotten by the universe. Tom had rigged up a primitive scanner from salvaged parts. It could barely detect anything beyond a few thousand kilometers. But it was better than being completely blind. He stared at the flickering screen, more out of habit than hope. Then, on day 37 of their drift, something changed. "Captain!" Tom's voice cracked with excitement. "I'm picking up something. It's big, and it's coming this way." Mark rushed to the scanner. A massive signature appeared on the edge of their detection range. His heart sank. "It's probably the Krell coming back to finish us." But as the object drew closer, its configuration didn't match any Krell design. It was enormous, easily 10 times the size of the largest Krell battleship they'd ever seen. The hull signature was dense, incredibly dense, like nothing in their database. "Sir," Lisa whispered, her equipment suddenly coming alive with emergency power. "I'm receiving a transmission. It's in English." The speakers crackled to life. A deep, calm voice filled the cargo bay. "Mining vessel Crystal Dawn, this is the Terran Navy warship Prometheus. We received your distress signal. Prepare for immediate extraction. Medical team standing by." Mark couldn't believe it. The Prometheus, he'd heard rumors about Earth's new battleships, but most people thought they were just propaganda. Massive. Vessels built in secret, using technology that shouldn't exist yet. Through the viewport, the warship emerged from the darkness. It was beautiful and terrible at once. Its hull was midnight black, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Weapon systems Mark couldn't even identify lined its surface. It moved with impossible grace for something so large. "Crystal Dawn, we're detecting Krell engine signatures in this sector. Are you under threat?" the voice asked. Mark grabbed the communications unit with shaking hands. "No immediate threat, Prometheus. The Krell attacked us 37 days ago. They took our cargo and left us to die." There was a pause. When the voice returned, it carried an edge of steel. Understood, Crystal Dawn. We're beginning rescue operations. And Captain Ross? The Krell won't be a problem anymore. Asterisk the Prometheus moved with precision that defied its massive size. Docking tubes extended from its hull like reaching arms, connecting with the battered mining vessel in perfect synchronization. Within minutes, the cargo bay's emergency airlock hissed open, revealing a squad of Terran Marines in advanced combat suits. "Medical team, move in," commanded Lieutenant Commander Alex Stone, stepping through first. His armor was sleek and black, with a heads-up display that analyzed everything instantly. Behind him, medics rushed toward the weakened crew with equipment that looked almost alien in its sophistication. Mark tried to stand but stumbled. Strong arms caught him. One of the Marines had moved faster than his eyes could track. The enhanced strength of the power armor was evident, but controlled, gentle. Even. "Easy there, Captain," Stone said. "You've been through hell. Let my people work." The medical team worked with incredible efficiency. Injection guns hissed, delivering nutrients and medicines directly through clothing. Portable scanners diagnosed injuries and illnesses in seconds. The sickest crew members were placed on hovering stretchers that glided smoothly toward the docking tubes. Tom Wade watched in amazement as a medic treated his infected wound with a device that sealed and healed the cut in moments. How is this possible? This technology, ... A medic, a young woman named Dr. Kate Brown, smiled. "Earth's been busy, sir. The Krell attack on Colony 7 5 years ago changed everything. We decided we wouldn't be victims anymore." As the crew was evacuated, Mark got his first look inside the Prometheus. The corridors were wide and bright, with displays showing real-time data streams. The walls hummed with energy he could feel in his bones. Crew members moved with purpose, their uniforms bearing patches he didn't recognize, new divisions, new specializations. They were brought to a medical bay that looked more advanced than any Earth hospital Mark remembered. Beds adjusted automatically to each patient's needs. Machines monitored vital signs without any visible connections. The crew of the Crystal Dawn was treated like returning heroes, not refugee miners. Lieutenant Commander Stone found Mark after his initial treatment. "Captain, I need to debrief you about the Krell attack. Our intelligence division wants details." In a quiet conference room, Mark told his story. Stone's expression darkened with each detail. When Mark mentioned the stolen minerals, Stone's jaw clenched. "Tritanium ore," Stone said. "They've been raiding our mining operations for months. We've been tracking them." "Tracking them? But they have cloaking technology," Stone smiled grimly. "Not anymore. The Prometheus has quantum sensors. We can detect them through any cloak. We've been following their raiders for weeks, waiting for the right moment." "The right moment for what?" "To send a message." On the bridge, Mark was given a seat next to Captain David Roberts, commanding officer of the Prometheus. The bridge was a marvel. Holographic displays created a three-dimensional view of surrounding space. Officers worked at stations that responded to touch and voice simultaneously. "Captain Ross," Roberts greeted him. "Your distress signal saved more than just your crew. It led us to a Krell supply depot we've been searching for." The main display showed a massive space station hidden in an asteroid field, 3 light years away. Krell ships swarmed around it like insects. Mark counted at least 40 vessels, including several battleships. "You're not thinking of attacking that," Mark said. "It's suicide. They outnumber you 40 to 1. Roberts smiled. "In the old days, yes, but the Prometheus isn't like our old ships. Watch." The warship dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the asteroid field. Immediately, Krell ships moved to intercept, their weapons charging. Warning messages flooded the communication channels in multiple languages, all demanding the human vessel surrender. Robert stood, his voice calm. All stations, battle ready. Activate Aegis shields. Charge the main gun. The Prometheus transformed. Armor plates shifted, revealing weapon systems. A blue energy field enveloped the ship. The Aegis shield Mark had only heard whispers about. The Krell ships opened fire, hundreds of laser beams and missiles converging on the human vessel. They hit the shield and simply vanished. The energy was absorbed, converted, fed back into the Prometheus's systems. The ship didn't even shake. "Sir, main gun charged," an officer reported. "Target the station's main reactor," Roberts ordered. Fire. A beam of impossible brightness erupted from the Prometheus's bow. It wasn't just a laser. It was something more, something that bent space around it. The beam punched through 3 Krell battleships, like they were paper, continued through the asteroid field, and struck the station's core. The explosion was visible from 10 light minutes away. Asterisk. The destruction of the Krell supply depot sent shockwaves through nearby space. The surviving Krell ships scattered in panic, their captains unable to comprehend what they'd witnessed. A single human vessel had obliterated their strongest fortification. In under 60 seconds, on the bridge of the Prometheus, Captain Roberts watched the fleeing ships with cold satisfaction. "Let them run," he told his weapons officer. "They'll spread the word faster than any transmission we could send." Mark stood transfixed by the tactical display. The debris field that had once been a massive station now spread across thousands of kilometers. "How? That weapon ... Graviton pulse cannon," Roberts explained. "It creates a localized gravitational singularity that tears through any known material. Took our scientists 15 years to perfect it after we reverse-engineered some recovered. Krell technology. Reverse-engineered? Every time they attacked us, we learned. Every ship they sent, every weapon they fired, we studied. Humans have always been good at one thing, Captain Ross: adapting and improving." The medical officer approached with a report. "Sir, the Crystal Dawn crew is recovering well. They'll need a few weeks of treatment, but no permanent damage." Roberts nodded, then turned to Mark. "There's something else you should see?" They moved to a section of the ship Mark hadn't noticed before, the intelligence center. Inside, dozens of screens showed various star systems, trade routes, and military positions. Officers analyzed data streams in real-time. Commander Jane Foster, head of intelligence, greeted them. "Captain Ross, we've been tracking your cargo since it was stolen. The Krell moved it to 3 different locations, probably trying to hide their trail." She brought up a holographic map. "But they made a mistake. They used their diplomatic vessels to transport it, thinking we wouldn't dare scan official ships." "You scanned diplomatic vessels?" Mark asked, surprised. "That's against galactic law. So is attacking civilian mining ships," Foster replied coolly. "The Krell broke the rules first. Now we make our own." The map zoomed in on a planet in Krell. "Space. Your tritanium ore is here, on their military research facility on Krell Prime. They're using it to power their new weapons program." Roberts stepped forward. "We're going to get it back. All of it. You're going to attack Krell Prime? That's their homeworld." "Not attack," Roberts corrected. "Demonstrate. The galaxy needs to understand that humanity is no longer prey." Over. The next day, Mark watched the Prometheus prepare. The crew wasn't just military. There were scientists, engineers, diplomats. This wasn't just a warship. It was a statement of human advancement. Tom Wade was given a tour of the engineering section and returned with wide eyes. "Captain, you won't believe their power source. They're using controlled antimatter reactions. The energy output it's astronomical." Lisa Park spent time in the communications center. "They're intercepting and decoding every transmission within 50 light years." The Krell military communications, their government channels, nothing is hidden. Jake Turner was allowed to observe the helm. The navigation system uses quantum entanglement for instant positioning. They know where every major ship in the galaxy is at any moment. As they approached Krell space, the Prometheus didn't hide. It broadcast its identification on all channels, moving openly through shipping lanes that no human vessel had dared. Travel in decades. Krell patrol ships approached but kept their distance. Word had spread about what happened to the supply depot. The Prometheus moved like a shark through schools of smaller fish, unchallenged, undeterred. Incoming transmission from Krell High Command, the communications officer announced. The main screen activated, showing a Krell admiral. The alien's four eyes narrowed with anger, its mandibles clicking in agitation. Human vessel, you are in violation of our sovereign space. Withdraw immediately or face destruction. Roberts stood calmly. Admiral Grath, I believe you have something that belongs to us. Tritanium ore taken from the mining vessel Crystal Dawn. We are here to collect it. You dare make demands? One ship against the might of the Krell Empire? One ship is all we need. Roberts replied, You've seen what we did to your depot. Would you like a demonstration closer to home? The threat hung in the air. On the tactical display, Mark could see dozens of Krell warships converging on their position. But also he noticed, keeping a respectful distance. Additionally, Roberts continued, we have the crew of the Crystal Dawn aboard. They're prepared to testify before the Galactic Council about your unprovoked attack on a civilian vessel. Unless, of course, we can resolve this matter peacefully. The Krell Admiral's colors shifted, their species equivalent of going pale. Asterisk, the standoff in Krell. Space lasted 18 hours. During that time, the Prometheus held position just outside Krell Prime's orbital defense perimeter, a single dark shape against the starred void. More than 200 Krell warships surrounded it at a distance. None willing to fire the first shot. Mark watched from the observation deck as shuttles began arriving from the planet below. They're actually negotiating? They don't have a choice. Lieutenant Commander Stone explained. Our position gives us a clear shot at their 3 main orbital stations. If we open fire, their planetary economy collapses in minutes. The Krell delegation that boarded the Prometheus was led by Ambassador Vorn, an elderly Krell whose scales had dulled with age. His 4 eyes took in every detail of the human ship's interior, noting the advanced technology with visible concern. In the conference room, Captain Roberts laid out simple terms. Return all stolen cargo from human vessels over the past 5 years. Pay compensation to the affected crews. Sign a non-aggression pact with Earth and her colonies. Impossible, Vorn clicked. The cargo has been distributed, used. We cannot. Return what no longer exists. Then equivalent value in Krell technology and resources, Roberts countered. Our economists have calculated the total. It's substantial, but fair. Dr. Brown entered with a data pad. Also, medical supplies for the colonies you've blockaded. Your raids have caused medicine shortages. People died who didn't have to. Thorns. Assistant whispered urgently in his ear, showing him something on a handheld device. The ambassador's posture changed, becoming less aggressive. You've been scanning our defense grid, Vorn stated. Among other things, Roberts admitted. Your new weapons program, the one powered by stolen tritanium? We know about the prototype ships. We know about the planned offensive against human colonies next month. A room fell silent. This was information the Krell believed absolutely. Secret. Foster, the intelligence commander, placed a holographic projector on the table. It displayed detailed schematics of Krell military installations, troop movements, supply lines. We've been watching you for 2 years. Every secret base, every hidden fleet. We know it all. How? Vorn demanded. You taught us to be paranoid, Roberts said simply. After Colony 7, we developed the most advanced intelligence network in the galaxy. Quantum communication intercepts, AI analysis systems, deep cover reconnaissance drones smaller than your fingernail. You forced us to evolve. Mark noticed something else. The human crew members weren't afraid. Throughout history, humans had feared the Krell Empire. But these people looked at the aliens as equals, maybe even inferiors. Young Jake Turner was brought in to testify about the attack on the Crystal Dawn. His simple, honest account of the unprovoked assault and subsequent abandonment in space made even the Krell delegation uncomfortable. The boy's evident trauma was undeniable. The Galactic Council will hear about this, Roberts warned. With evidence, unless we reach an agreement today. Vorn consulted with his delegation for an hour. When they returned, his bearing had changed. We agree to your terms, with conditions. Speak. The technology transfer must be gradual. Our people need time to adjust to this new reality. And we want guarantees that Earth won't use its new capabilities for conquest. Roberts smiled. We don't want your world's ambassador. We want respect, and to be left alone. The treaty was drafted that day. As the Krell delegation prepared to leave, Vorn approached Mark privately. Your distress signal started all this. Such a small thing to change the balance of power. It wasn't the signal, Mark replied. It was Earth deciding they'd had enough. The signal just gave them the excuse. Within hours, Krell cargo ships began arriving, carrying not just the stolen tritanium, but additional resources as compensation. The crew of the Crystal Dawn watched in amazement as their lost cargo was returned. Plus interest. Tom Wade analyzed some of the Krell technology being transferred. Captain, this is incredible. Energy shields, improved hyperdrives, medical equipment. This will advance our colonies by decades. But the real victory was psychological. Throughout the galaxy, word spread that a single human warship had forced the Krell Empire to negotiate. Other species, long oppressed by the Krell, began to reconsider their positions. On the bridge, Roberts received a transmission from Earth. Admiral Harrison, commander of the Terran Navy, appeared on screen. Outstanding work, Captain. The Prometheus has changed everything. Return home at your discretion. What about us? Mark asked. Roberts turned to him. You're heroes, Captain. Earth wants to hear your story. But first, we'll get you a new ship. Can't have our miners flying in damaged vessels. The Prometheus turned toward human space, its mission complete. Behind them, the Krell Empire watched and wondered how they had underestimated humanity so badly. 6 months after the Krell incident, Mark stood on the bridge of his new ship, the Starforge. It was a mining vessel, but unlike any that had come before. Integrated Krell shields, human-designed quantum sensors, and defensive weapons that could discourage any pirate or raider. Captain, we're approaching the asteroid field. Tom Wade reported from his engineering station. He'd stayed with Mark, as had most of the original crew. They were celebrities now, the miners whose distress call had changed history. Through the viewports, Mark could see other human ships working the field. No longer alone and vulnerable, they moved in coordinated groups with Navy patrol ships never far away. The Prometheus had been just the beginning. Earth had revealed its true strength. Not just one advanced warship, but an entire fleet. The Prometheus, Titan, Valkyrie, Phoenix, each one capable of taking on entire enemy fleets. The galaxy had gasped collectively when 12 of these vessels appeared at the Galactic Council, requesting humanity's elevation to prime species status. Lisa Park, now his communications director, pulled up a newsfeed. The Council voted today. Unanimous approval. Humanity is now recognized as a prime species with full voting rights. The crew cheered. It had been a long time coming. There's more, Lisa continued. 3 more species have requested protection treaties with Earth. They want what we gave. The Miners' Union, safety guarantees in exchange for trade agreements. Mark smiled. The Miners' Union had been his idea, born from their ordeal. No human mining vessel would ever drift alone again. They had panic buttons now, quantum communicators. That could reach Earth instantly. And the Navy responded to every call. A shadow fell across the Starforge. Mark looked up to see the familiar dark hull of the Prometheus passing overhead. The warship was on patrol, a reminder to any who might threaten human vessels. Incoming. Message from the Prometheus, sir. Lisa announced. Captain Roberts appeared on screen, looking older but satisfied. Captain Ross, good to see you back at work. How's the new ship? Perfect, Captain. Thank you again for everything. Thank you, Roberts corrected. Your distress call didn't just save your crew. It gave us the opportunity to show the galaxy who we really are. After the call ended, Jake Turner, now a full pilot after intensive training, asked, "Do you think the Krell will try again?" "No," Mark said firmly. "They learned their lesson. The whole galaxy did." He was right. The Krell had become almost accommodating, eager to trade and maintain peaceful relations. Their ambassador had even publicly apologized for past aggressions. Something unthinkable a year ago. But the real change was in humanity itself. No longer did colonists feel isolated and vulnerable on the frontier. Children grew up knowing that Earth stood behind them, that the Navy would come if called. Scientists and engineers, inspired by the recovered technology, pushed boundaries even further. Dr. Brown, who had treated Mark's crew on the Prometheus, now ran a medical station in the asteroid belt. She'd requested the posting, wanting to be where miners and colonists needed help most. The station used a mix of human and alien technology, providing care that surpassed anything on Earth just years before. Tom Wade had been offered a position at the Navy's research division, but turned it down. "I belong out here," he'd said. "Someone needs to keep these mining rigs running." But he'd integrated Navy improvements into every system, making the Starforge one of the most advanced civilian vessels in spacedoubt as they began their mining operation. Mark received a priority alert. Another mining vessel, the Desert Rose, had encountered unknown aliens near the galactic rim. But this time, there was no panic, no fear. The Desert Rose calmly reported the contact and waited for backup. Within minutes, the Valkyrie dropped out of hyperspace beside them. The unknown aliens, seeing the human warship, immediately opened peaceful communications. They'd heard about humanity's rise, about the ships that had humbled the Krell Empire. "Times have changed," Tom observed, watching the first contact unfold on their screens. "For the better," Mark agreed. He thought back to those desperate days drifting in the void, when they'd been lost among the stars with no hope of rescue. Now, no human would ever be that alone again. The galaxy had learned the simple truth. Humanity protected its own. The Starforge fired its mining lasers, cutting into an asteroid rich with rare minerals. Around them, other human ships worked in harmony, protected by the silent watchers of the Navy. Earth's children had claimed their place among the stars, not through conquest, but through unity and determination. They would never be prey again. Asterisk.